All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praise, glory, and honors unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and order of a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. This is the edition of GMS News and Prophecy. And continuation of prophecies are constantly happening. Several events are taking place, and it's not stopping. And pretty much there's different riots and protests happening all around the world all the time, and things are only heating up, in and off of 2022 going into 2023. The world is on fire. Okay, and I have these articles here. I have these articles that pretty much tell the story of what's happening in the earth. Okay, we're here. We're here. We're definitely in the time of Yahweh Shai returning, and bringing in his kingdom and taking down the kingdom of Edom. Okay, but first the world got to be set on fire, and different events and things have to happen. So I have a few headlines here. I'm not going to read all, into them, but I will bring them out and get some scriptures. Okay, so this first one here is from Express, and this is going back to Christmas Eve, all right, day before so-called Christmas, December 24th. It says, chaos on Paris streets as crowds tear up road and hurl it at riot police on Christmas Eve. So while, the world is especially here in America, is thinking of a white Christmas, people overseas are clashing with police and protesting and rioting in the streets. It says 3 people were killed and several more injured in Paris on Friday after a shooter targeted a Kurdish cultural center. So these are the things that's not being talked about on CNN and in the news. Okay? These things are being kept under wraps, or only spoken about, pretty much on the internet, for you to even know that these things are happening. Okay? The world isn't all hunky-dory, as they say. Okay? Protests have broken out on the streets of Paris as people clash with police outside the Kurdish Cultural Center. In video footage posted on social media, hundreds of people can be seen running through the streets carrying flags as people watch on. Police appear to be using tear gas to disperse the large crowds. It comes after 3 people died in a shooting in Paris on Friday. So, like I said, man, this world is seeing its own destruction. Okay. And that's all this article's giving me. But let me I don't know why it's doing this. See what happens. Yeah. So we see you see the people here in the images. You see the people throwing their Molotov cocktails, their rocks, what have you, tear gas being shot. You see the riot police here. These protests haven't stopped. Just because you don't see, people screaming hands up, don't shoot over here in America, and BLM and WLM and all these, these different American gimmick protest groups. Things are happening, man, in real life overseas. Okay, and it's all prophecy. Let's go to this next one. Truthout.org. Protests continue in Peru as newly installed government cracks down after coup. This is from December 23rd. Okay, a rapid end to the Peruvian crisis appears unlikely after the right-wing soft coup against President Pedro Castillo. Okay. Stop the repression. On December 7th, a soft coup took place in Peru involving the impeachment of the country's president Pedro Castillo by the right-wing National Congress and his arrest by local police in Lima. Since then, the nation has exploded into massive protests followed by serious repression by government authorities. As of December 21st, some 26 people have been killed and up to 500 protesters and security forces injured. It says due to the violence, while key roads throughout the country have been blocked, with 5 airports forced to close due to demonstrations, Peru's defense minister Luis Alberto Otarola has declared a 30-day state of emergency, deploying the army throughout the Andean nation. Hey, these are amongst Israelites here in Peru. All right. So it's a Peru. You got the Andes Mountains. That's Naphtali. Okay, the tribe of Naphtali, Israelites are also feeling the pressure. All right. And I'm gonna go through the rest. I'm gonna come back with a scripture. All right, so I'm back with the scriptures, and what I have here is 2 Ezra 15, and I'll start at 14. We all know the scripture. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Okay, we're seeing the world full of woes, mourning, confusion. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing these clashes, these protests, these events happening. Okay? All right, and violence. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And these people are now, they're saying, the hell what the government's saying. They want to, like the sign in the article said, stop the repression. They're coming down with, heavy taxes and different laws and things, that are pretty much oppressing the people. So they're saying, well, we're going to go and what happened last year with all the storming of the different parliaments from here in the U.S. to over there in the Philippines, I believe. Okay, Indonesia, over there in the Pacific Islands, man. They were going into these. Over there in the Middle East as well, going into the different government buildings and taking over the place. It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And we're seeing the power of the people. Okay. So let's go into this. Riots break out in Jordan. So this is over there in the state of Israel. Okay. Demonstrations tied to the dire economic situation in the kingdom and spiraling fuel prices. Okay. Well, not the state of Israel, since they count Jordan today as that region is now its own separate place, but it wasn't in the ancient world. Okay. So it says, in recent days, violent demonstrations in the kingdom of Jordan have been expanding. Okay. Hey, they should not regard their kings nor princes, right? It says, leading to, among other things, fatalities in the security forces. Escalating fuel prices have triggered the current spate of violence. Okay? There is no doubt that the Kingdom of Jordan has been going through a severe economic crisis for many years, worsening annually. There are multiple reasons. So far, the most important have been the presence of refugees, the endemic crisis, the unemployment rates going up, and corruption, and it says here debt. Okay, now the war in Ukraine. So these are reasons why these countries are dealing with these protests and riots and issues. Okay, and this is just Jordan. Let's go to the next one. Okay, now this is in africanews.com. All right, so this is on the continent of Africa. Somalia. Deadly clashes between protesters and security forces in Somaliland. Okay, amongst the people of Kush. Okay, Kawash. All right. Local media have reported deadly clashes between protesters and Somaliland security forces in Lashkanu, the capital of Seoul region. Okay. Now, I'm reading into this, and apparently, this was what's this last update? It was this either what's this copyright 2022? It doesn't give a date, but this is what's been going on in Africa, right? People going to the hospital. But they're clashing. They're clashing with their kings and princes. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So this is German. Now, this is 2023, this week. German New Year riots prompt call for firework ban. So it says a night of New Year rioting and attacks on emergency services in Berlin and other cities has shocked Germans and prompted calls for a ban on fireworks and firecrackers. And these people, man, they bugging out. Okay. Okay. All right, they bugging out. And man, for any reason, man, whenever you get a crowd of these people together, whether it's here in America or overseas, some kind of serious situation is going to go down. Okay? Talking about starting off 2023 with a bang. Okay? 41 police officers were hurt in the capital alone, and there were dozens of attacks on firefighters. So Mayor Franziska Giffey has called a youth summit condemning the violence is absolutely unacceptable. So you got these kids out here in Germany just attacking the police and the firefighters, man. You know? Now, of course, if something really go down, which it did, you got no firefighters to come and put it out. So yeah, man. This world is getting more and more crazy, man. Let's go here. This is Breitbart.com. Over in China, Chinese protesters flip police car in first major anti-communist riot of 2023. This is from January 4th. Outraged citizens in Yunnan province, China, attacked cops and overturned the police car on Monday after authorities attempted to enforce a ban on New Year's Eve. Now this is some kind of thing that they're setting up, because they want to ban the fireworks over there in what I just read in Germany. Now they're doing the same thing in China. Coincidence, right? Anyway, it says they attempted to enforce a ban on New Year's fireworks. Social media videos and local reports revealed. Police in Luyi County, Henan, confirmed that the incident occurred on Monday in a public statement and announced 6 arrests related to what videos appeared to show as a riot. The confirmation followed a flood of videos surfacing on Douyin, the Chinese government-approved version of TikTok, which didn't they create TikTok? Anyway. And other regime-controlled social media outlets showing mobs of people setting off fireworks and destroying police property. So this is something that they got going on. Setting up. They want to start this year off with a bang, And this is all just so they can pass these laws, man. Hey, if you want to know how the new order of the world is gonna be set up, just look over here overseas, man, in China. Okay, everything controlled. But that was mainly the point. These people are getting more and more antsy out here in the world, man. And all this gonna come right over here to America, right over here to Babylon the Great, man. So let me finish off the scripture. 2nd Ezra 15 and but 16 again. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And we're seeing it, man. They're not regarding the law enforcement, the emergency, attacking firefighters, and then they're clashing, and there's deaths on both ends. Okay, people getting arrested. The governments are coming down hard. And, things are going back into these L downs, man. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. The curfews are going to be setting back up, all of that. I believe that's what happened in Iran when they was protesting. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And it's going to get more and more heavy, man. The more and more economic issues and crises occur, the more and more people are going to be left out there to do what they have to do. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's how bad it's going to be out here, man. Inflation is rising, so if I can't get it from the store, I'm gonna take it from my neighbor. That's going to be the mindset of these people. Okay. So I'm ended here. Hope this was edifying. All praise to go to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, by Shabbat Dash, double honors to the apostles and others of Great Millstone. Shalom.